Hello, welcome back. We're in week 13. My name is Dr. George Mochocki. This is Introduction to Business or Business Corporation, Understanding Businesses from Small to Large. You're taking this course online at the College of Lake County with course management system Blackboard. Okay, last week we did income statement. In week 12, you did your first stab, for lack of better words, or attempt in creating an income statement. It's a little harder to create an income statement when you don't have previous income or activities, financial activities that a business done. This is what's so unique about being a chief financial officer. When you're opening up a new business, new venture, you have to look at, you're making assumptions. What's the interest rate going to be? What's the economy looking at? Where am I going to get money? They don't know who I am. How am I going to make my sell for people to invest into my business? Do I take a loan out? Do I ask my friends and neighbors to sustain me? Do I do crowd financing or funding? There's a lot of different ways. Or do I open up, or do I sell my house? What I use for collaterals? Do I go to a bank? Do I go to an angel investor? All those things are, how am I going, in this chapter, when you're doing the discussion board, how am I going to finance my startup? You have two aspects. One is how to finance it. I just want you to give me a general idea. Here's where I think I'm going to finance my startup. Okay, and the other aspect is, what are the terms and conditions for my startup? Do I finance it through bringing in more partners? That's what we would call equity financing. Or do I go to an angel investor or to a bank or take out a loan or sell bonds, which we would call debt financing? That's what you're going to find out, okay? So, and look, when you look at the chief financial officer, remember how I started off a couple of chapters back when we looked at our personal finances, and then we went into our income statement, which basically would have been your W-2 form if you had done it from a personal perspective, but this is a business venture. So when I'm looking at going finance or chief financial officer, all of you are chief financial officer. You pay for the college. You decide, whether I take a loan for a car or save for a car. Do I rent, or do I lease, or do I buy a condominium, or do I buy a home? Do I flip a home? Do I buy a rundown home? And because I got the skills and everything else to build it and make it better, or do I buy a brand new home? Depends on the ability of the managers or the people buying the home. Depends on the market. Depends on the cost. Depends on your credit rating. So you really are a home based mini chief financial officer, because you're doing all those things. Now, on business, remember, the accountants is just give me the wrong data, give me the raw data, and I look at those numbers, just similar to if I'm trying to lose weight. I go on the scale and I look at the scale as my accounting that tells me, here's my body fat, here's my weight, and then I take those numbers and I look at against a benchmark, or what I look at different ratios that you're going to find out that we've learned from last chapter, and look at those ratios for companies that are similar to mine to see if they're doing better in certain areas than I'm not. And now I know in this area I should be doing better. So if they're going, George, you're not really way overweight, but you got a little bit of body fat. How do I get rid of body fat? So body fat, I can do exercise to turn that body that's fat into muscle. Other people may be way overweight, so they have to do like a crash diet, or what we would call, or a reorganization, to really have different, not only to take care of body weight, you got to watch how you eat, you got to change your lifestyle, and all these combinations is what your dietitians will do to tell you, here's how you're going to improve. Similar to what a chief financial officer does with the information he or she gets from the accounting. And after they do, they say, okay, we got to do a little more, watch our spendings, bring in another partner, bring in some revenue. And now after I've done certain things that I, as a chief financial officer, feel has improved the bottom line of my organization, I go back to the accountant, and he or she runs the numbers and say, hey, yes, you have improved. What you are doing is doing well. Keep it on track. Or similar to, again, if I'm a dietitian, I go back on the scale, look at my body fat and all that other stuff, and I say, yes, the program I've initiated for you to achieve your goal objectives, you're on course. If for some reason I'm adding weight, they're going to go, oh, maybe we got to do some adjustment. Same with the chief financial officer. After the numbers come back and I say I want to improve my liquidity ratios, or do I want to improve my productivity ratios, or do I want to improve my leverage ratios, everything that we've talked about in accounting, is my new financial action plan that I've presented to the organization, is it really working? How do I know? I go back in the scale, or in this case, I go back to the accountant, and he or she runs the numbers. And yes, you're on course. If I'm on course, keep what I'm doing. If I'm not on course, exactly not hitting those benchmarks that we've set for ourselves in finance, or any company, you've got your management by objectives. How do you know you're achieving your goals? If you don't have any goals, I'm doing a lot. I got nothing to measure against, so I must be doing fine. If you have a goal, did you meet those goals? And once I've met those goals, if I haven't met the goals, what new course of action do I have to take? Now, it's not that I have to do everything and start all over. Which areas am I still lacking? Maybe I'm doing good on my liquidity or my asset test that I'm doing, and my current asset test that I'm doing in my finance. I got enough cash to take care of my cash flow, but I may be having problem with my leverage. Maybe my leverage is too low. The ratio, it doesn't fall into what it should be for similar businesses that I'm evaluating. So it's the same thing when I'm looking what should I weigh? I'm looking at an average person, your height, your age, your weight should weigh this much. All right, so that's your chief financial officer. So what do we have? I have a full lecture here, and I think this one's only 42 minutes on chief financial officer. You have a discussion board. Remember, I want you to, even though you don't have as much work, we're slowing down a little bit on the actual work. It's getting a little more harder. That's why you only did one chapter. Your accounting, your finance, your banking, your financial instruments that we're going to be talking about. This is the area where a lot of students with finance, they've got the idea of everything else, and now when it comes with the number, remember, finance and accounting is the language of business, because I have to know what my expenses are to see if I'm making a profit. And if I'm not, my expenses, where do I adjust to make sure that I reach my profitability goals, or at least sustainability goals for the next couple of years that we're going to be working on. Okay, so you've got to look at my YouTube. It goes through the whole thing. It'll help you when you do your Connect homework. For those of you, if you read the book first, look at the YouTube. That you go like this. The video, 42 minutes, not too bad. It goes step by step. Use my concept maps. Use the PowerPoint. And remember, because this is the area when we do the final exam, most students do poorly in these last chapters. That's why I'm doing them more, giving you each chapter at the end so you do well in the final exam. Your final exam plus your final paper is the reflection of how you what you've learned and what you could accomplish. The final exam tells you I could conceptually understand the terms and the concepts. I understand how these concepts interact with my business every day as a chief financial officer. That's what I'm doing with the final or the exam, and everything else, all the chapters covered. The paper takes something else that you've learned, the conceptual, and now could I actually apply that? So you have two things in this online class. The discussion boards, could I discuss it, whether I'm discussing it face-to-face like I am doing now, or I'm discussing it through Twitter or some other account, or through email, or through social media, or in this case, to discussion boards. Okay? All right, so we got that. So you have that. Now let's go, what do we have for discussion board? You're going to come in here, you're going to watch this video. I gave you the link in here and also provided you the link in the video when you go in there in your discussion board. So you're going to come in here, you're going to click on this, and this is going to be to talk about Tom and Eddie's, which you're going to find out they were chief financial, one was a chief financial officer, the other one was doing something operational officer for McDonald's. Now they spun off on the hamburger. But what I want you to look, don't always look at the finance, look at all the other chapters. What else did you pick up? Before they open up, what were they looking at with the customers? Why did they open up looking for an existing restaurant versus a brand new restaurant? What do you think? It doesn't say in here. They already had their idea their plan, just like you did. Who's your customers? Where you're going to open up? All those you're looking at. All those who my customers are. How much money they have, disposable income. That's part of finance. Where do I open up? Part of finance. How much I'm going to pay for this? What's going to be my break even? How long before I recoup my investment? When I open up, do I have a location that is favorable for customer traffic? And then how do I? And then in the future, I want to open up more businesses. What you're going to find out? How do I do it? Do I open up my own business? Do I become a corporation? Did they become a corporation, or do I use financing, or do I use as a corporation more stockholders by selling shares, or do I take a loan out? Where did the money come? All this is going to find out in just one little video, 10 minutes. I want you to look at it, and now you're going to go. Remember, you're looking at other people's videos, the discussion board, other people's comments, and now take that information and then respond. So the video is going to be, you're going to respond to the video and the subject matter, what you picked out, and now this isn't one where you'll see other people's videos in there. I'm leaving this as open discussion. Then I want you to do, the second part of this is for your research paper. What I want you to do is start looking for research areas. Look at where I'm going to finance. If I'm going to finance for my friends and family, how much am I going to need for my own operation that you're doing in your final paper? Do I do crowd financing? Give me some links. What's the advantages of going for a line of credit versus doing a traditional bank loan? As a startup, remember, not that you have no credit. You've got experience. You've got to remember the 5 C's that you're looking for getting a loan or credit. You've got character. You've maybe got some collateral. You've got experience. Something that you could come in here and say, hey, to an investor, trust me, give me the money and how much I'm going to need, and you got to give me just a brief idea. So what you're going to do by doing the researching for your own project that you're doing, you post those links in here for other students to see those links. Say, hey, I found this link on crowdfunding. Good information. Boom. And now you could use that as a source for your paper, or maybe some of the other students could use it for theirs. But try to be specific for your industry, what you're going to do. How do they get financing? And you may say friends or neighbors or friends. How much you're going to need? Now, friends not going to give you $100,000. I can tell you that much. They're going to say, hey, boy, gee, I may give you $5,000. So how many friends are you going to need to get enough money to open up your, at least to get it going? And remember, when you're doing the finance, the chief financial, you will, when you did the income statement, some of you were in the negative. It means or breaking even. How are you going to have that's only 1 month. So what if you have some slow months? Should you finance additional capital to keep it now, as we discussed in the income statement review? Okay, so you've got those 2 things. You're done. Let's see what else we got in weekly assignments. And you've got your Learn Smart. Use this time. Read it. This is the time. It's going to take you a little time. Think it through. Don't look at it as a chore, as a homework. Look at it, you're either an entrepreneur, open up a business, you're a department head, where are you going to get your money from? You have to understand the finance, or what's the financial state of the company. You're part of it, your organization, how are you going to do it? Does the company usually just sell bonds? Does the company or sell stock? What do they do? Or do they go to the traditional? Or what could I do to, for lack of better words, get my project and my business, just the seed money to start for it? Remember, in the book, they talked about the Small Business Association. Look in there. Look underneath your business and see if there's any kind of funding there. Remember, part of this is in your paper. I looked up the small business. There's an angel investor that says they'll fund me for $10,000, $100,000, or I think I'm going to get a traditional loan at this amount of interest rate, and they're helping small businesses. This bank or this information is how a small business presents their idea to the commercial banking industry. And you can find some sites. And if you find those sites, save those sites, and those are the ones you're going to put in your paper for your 6 to 8 sources required for your final paper. All right, so that's it. You're doing well, and again, Victoria, I really appreciate you helping other students. That's what I want to see in this. If you notice, I'm reading your form. I want you to be like a self-sufficient virtual network where you're stimulating other class members to talk. Look, if you don't get it, if you're always waiting for me to get your conversation going, I've done that at the beginning because you didn't know what question to ask. Now you're getting more and more to your paper. Start asking business-related question. Remember, the forums, the discussion boards, I'm starting looking that you start using business terms and concepts out of the book if you want the full points. Not that you just did 6 polls and why didn't I get the 20 points. I want some substance. You're at the end. You've learned how to do discussion board. You're already comfortable with this group. Now let's start putting some substance. Just like Victoria did in the income statement. Because that is the student's expertise. Show it, use it. Now, if you don't have the, all right, so that's all I have. So we're doing pretty good. Look, you only got a few more weeks and you'll be done. Well, you're doing well in this class. I think this class, you've learning a lot. You've learned the subject area. You learn how to use the software. The software helps you learn the terms and conditions, the concepts and everything else. And then the discussion board that we're talking about, you know, all these little weekly videos I show as an introduction to my full lectures. This is just, you're in a virtual classroom. And going forward, just so you understand, I mentioned last week that I did a online class learning on online. Most of the online classes going in, I think in a couple of next semesters, you're going even here to College Lake County, you're going to see more that I'm going to try to do more video live recordings. I'm going to say, hey, at 9 o'clock, give me a time that's everybody acceptable, and we're going to have a live discussion within the classroom. You could either listen to me live or turn in your video, and we could discuss this similar to what you'd be doing as a Go Meeting place or something else in business, to give you not only the understanding and the vocabulary and the conceptual academic learning that you need to run a business, areas you have to focus in to understand the concepts when you're talking to other business individuals. And that's what my goal out of this class is. You may not be an expert in business, but you understand, well, this is how they're thinking. This is what they're talking about. I read this in here. Dr. George talked about this. We had this in our discussion board. We discussed a little bit. I found this in the research. Now you see how you're learning, and now you're actually going to take this learning and you're going to give me a product. And the product you're going to do is similar to what you'll be doing, presenting a financial plan to bring the company upward out of a slump or whatever. All right, so my name is Dr. George Mochocki, and again, this is Introduction to Business. We're going to be covering Chapter 18, Financial Manager. You're all Chief Financial Officers, and this is an extension from last week, and I'll see you in the discussion board. Make sure you look at the video, do your Learn Smart, and in a few weeks it'll be over, but look how much you've learned out of this class online. Again, I'll see you in the discussion board. Bye.